Let's get the show started, guys. I'm liking the little bit of a rotation that we're seeing here. Obviously, there isn't too many changes. You've got the likes of Wan-Bissaka is starting today. It looks like Ten Hag has definitely gotten the message that Dalot needs to be benched until he can get back into form ever since his injury. Harry Maguire starts, which is expected. It's a second leg. We're up 3 goals, so definitely should be a comfortable game. So I don't see why Maguire can't start this game. Martinez, Malacia as well. We've got Malacia. Definitely something different from Shaw. Can definitely give us that energy. He's going to be more willing to run today than in Luke Shaw, especially us being comfortable with the lead. So I'm happy to see the Malacia. I'm happy to see the Malacia addition to our team. Then who do we have? Obviously, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. That's a given. Game like this, I know someone had talked about Bruno lately has been Southampton. We did see him play a little deeper than we're used to seeing him play. So this could be Ten Hag trying to figure out the best position for Bruno Fernandes. But in a game like this is a good game to experiment, especially as the final stretch of the season is going to be upon us once we return from international break. So definitely looking forward to seeing how Ten Hag finishes the last round. So let's go from there. Palestri, definitely happy to see Palestri as well. He's definitely a promising talent. I honestly believe he's more talented than Garnacho, but I know fans will crucify me for saying such things. But the eye test doesn't lie, and Palestri so far has not disappointed me. So I'm happy to see him start today. We've got Fred. Obviously, we need Fred's engine as well. I'm beginning to think, based on here, it's looking like Fred is playing more advanced than Bruno Fernandes, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of switching going on in rotation. We've got Rashford. Obviously, expect that Rashford will play, and then we've got Weghorst. So nothing too crazy on that front. So yeah, we do have a decent bench. Obviously, we have the likes of Sabitzer back, so that's promising news. Varane is on the bench. Hopefully, I don't think we'll need Varane. Dalot's on the bench as well. We've got Luke Shaw. We've got Jadon Sancho. Jack Butland, actually. He's somebody that people have talked about potentially getting a start one of these games. So he might be one of the subs that do come on. We've got Anthony Elanga as well. Anthony Elanga is a very interesting one because I do honestly believe that there's a lot of talent in that kid. We saw glimpses of it under Ralph Ragnick, but it doesn't seem like he's favored by Ten Hag at the moment in time. But I think he's one of those young stars that, if given the right development and the right opportunities, he can definitely come up as one of Europe's top wingers or strikers. And obviously, we've got McTominay. So yeah, let's get to the game, guys. It's definitely been stalemate so far. The game is pretty open in the air, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of huffs and puffs in a game like this because, like we said, United technically has this game wrapped up, but the magic about European nights is the game is never wrapped up till the final whistle, as we've seen in past Champions Leagues, especially the likes of Real Madrid in a Champions League. But most cases, I'm pretty confident in this game that we should be good to go. Come on, guys, we're gonna defend this. Nice, De Gea. Oh yeah, speaking of De Gea, a lot of people were talking about, especially after that 7-0 loss to Liverpool, that we needed a new goalkeeper, not playing out from the back. Guys, like I had said in my post-match review last time, like De Gea, man, like I don't understand how you can't see the value that he provides to this team. Even like I said, when our team was struggling in the past seasons, De Gea has definitely been our saving, has been the saving grace. He's been one of our best players for the last probably like 5 seasons. So I think it was kind of ludicrous that people were talking about we need a new goalie or new goalkeeper. Ridiculous. Let me know who you guys think like what positions you guys think are the most important for Manchester United right now. I know for myself, I think a striker like we've talked about is definitely crucial because I think this is probably Martial's last season. I'm a huge Martial fan, but I honestly believe that this is his last season. Um, there's no point. Talent is one thing, but if you're never playing, if you're barely ever playing, then what's the point of having a talent that is not producing? So I love Martial, but it's time that we move on and find a striker that we can rely on week in, week out. I like Weghorst. I think Weghorst could definitely be that squad player that comes in. He's definitely shown that he can get the job done under Ten Hag. So definitely going to be crucial. Definitely going to be interesting to see what happens come summer. But I would like to see Weghorst stay, even if it's on a 1 or 2 year contract. Nothing too long. I'm not asking for a 4 year contract for Weghorst. A short contract. I'm sure he'll be happy to ride out the next 2 seasons at Manchester United, especially with the trajectory that we're going on. So, and then yeah, other than that, we definitely need a creative midfielder. Because the one thing I can say for Manchester United, watching us this season, yes, we have the likes of Ericsson, who is unfortunately injured. We have Bruno Fernandes, we've got Casemiro, but we're still lacking that creative midfielder, somebody who is not just attacking, but they have creativity to their game. A lot of times, I love Ericsson, but I find a lot of his time, his game is simplified, which is good, but um, it's very predictable. It's very predictable. And Bruno Fernandez, we know what Bruno brings to the game. He's a counter-attacking kind of midfielder. He's a midfielder who needs the space. He needs space and a quick. He's not somebody that likes to think. He needs time. He doesn't need too much time because he's kind of rash when he plays. So it's a very quick on the go counterattack. Make the quick pass and move on. So Bruno Fernandez is the kind of midfielder that I don't think he can sustain us all season. If we're trying to win the big trophies like your Champions Leagues, your Premier Leagues, your even up to your FA Cup, right? It's we need midfielders that can actually dictate games, that can control games, the tempo of the game, and right now we're still lacking that from the midfielders we have. Casemiro is doing a great job, but at the same time, Casemiro is Casemiro, right? Like he's a center back, is a CDM that's very good on the ball, right? And I don't want us to make that mistake thinking that Casemiro is going to, be the attacker, the creator, and also the defensive midfielder. Because we saw what happened when we tried to make Pogba every type of midfielder. It just doesn't work. And the moment that he starts underperforming because he's asking to do way too much, I can definitely see the fans on his back. So yeah, just one of those things I wanted to just point out there that the team is definitely looking good, but we are in need of a creative midfielder for sure. A lot of times I look at the passing that happens from like the likes of Bruno, Ericsson. It's very, in French they call it passer téléphoné. It's basically picking up the phone and say, "Hey, I'm going to pass it over there," and then and then you pass it. It's very obvious passes, and I think we're missing that KDB Pogba esque kind of passes, Modric, the Modriches of this world, where, when they pass the ball, you're just like, how in the world did you see that opening? How did you see that opening? So definitely interesting. Yeah, man. Because the thing, like, you gotta score in the first half, and it's not because I'm worried, but it's just they need to score 3 goals, right? But just scoring that one goal just gives us that breathing room, and we can start resting players like Bruno Fernandez, Casemiro that play pretty much 90 minutes in every game. I guess Casemiro doesn't really need resting because he's out for the next 4 weeks, and that's not including the international break. Too bad. I heard Ganacho is out for the season. Unfortunately, for such a young talent, this was his up and coming season. So very unfortunate to see that he's out for the rest of the season. But I think this is going to give other young stars opportunity like Palestri. I honestly believe Palestri is has more talent than Ganacho in terms of ceiling. I think Palestri has a higher ceiling than Ganacho, but Ganacho is a goal scorer, so a lot of times he's gonna seem like he's better just because he's scoring those goals, when we need them. But I think this is gonna definitely give Palestri more game time now that Ganacho's injured. I think Sancho too will probably start getting a bit more game time as well. And also Ilanga, like I had explained at the beginning of the show, I honestly rate Ilanga. I know a lot of he's not a fan favorite, but I think there is a talent. There's definitely a talent in him, and I just think the right coach, the right development, and the right opportunities. I think Ilanga can definitely be a very good player for us. He's got the speed, he's got the footwork, he's got the control for the most part. I remember last season he was giving Liverpool a tough time, So and this game is just like every time I look up, it's a foul. This game is dragging. Yeah, honestly, at halftime, I'll just bring on the likes of Sancho, Elanga, McTominay. I'll just bring these guys on, man. It's at this point, it's save the legs, save the legs, and just call it a day. Oh, a good save from De Gea. You got to see that back. That came fast. That was from the corner. Man, we almost got caught sleeping. De Gea to the rescue again, man. Yes. There we go. There we go. I step up for 1 minute and now we score. Rashford with the goal. Man, now we can rest a few players. Casemiro off. We don't need any more suspensions or red cards because I don't know who we're going to be facing the next leg, but we definitely need Casemiro. That was the only way a goal was going to come was from outside the box because both teams have been horrendous with their passing. So it only makes sense it was going to come from an individual effort from Rashford. Good job, Rashford. Individual effort, but we'll take it. We'll take that. And that's it, guys. Manchester United are through to the round of 16 or quarterfinals. I don't even know what stage of. Actually, sorry, this is the quarterfinal stage. This is the quarterfinals. I'm just kidding, guys. The Europa League just seems so long. I totally forgot that the Barcelona game was the that round of 16. Well, we powered through that 90 minutes, guys. We powered through the 90 minutes. Wow, what a game, guys. I almost dozed off here. Um, there really isn't much to take away from it other than the team got the job done. An aggregate 5-1 in aggregate, right? That's you can't ask for any more from your team. Real Betis, we knew it was never really going to be that much of a challenge, but it's football. You always got to take every team seriously because you don't know when that team might have a good day, right? It could just be, we saw what happened with Liverpool. Liverpool has had a horrendous season. We go to Anfield and we get a lashing. We get lashed or trashed 7-0. And then the next weekend, Liverpool is losing to Bournemouth. So that's football for you. But at the end of the day, we got to play the games that are in front of us. We're happy to see some positive bounce back. Obviously, the game over the weekend against Southampton was very frustrating, to say the least. Anyways, it definitely was a good game overall. Depending on how you want to look at it, from an entertaining standpoint, it wasn't the greatest game. But from a result standpoint, I think it was a good game. Rashford got his goal in the 54th minute, an individual moment of brilliance, which games like these is what's going to happen, because it was the entire, especially the first half, was literally just full 45 minutes of soft fouls, ref having to break up play. And even when they had the both teams had possession, they didn't really do too much with the possession they had. Real Betis didn't really look like they were up for this game, to be honest. I think they're more focused on La Liga, trying to um, finish in a Europe spot next season in La Liga. So I think that's more of Real Betis's priorities right now. And Manchester United, we're at that point where we've had a lot of games. These players have played a lot of games in recent weeks/months, and we've also had the World Cup. So you can definitely see these players are a little tired. Maybe the international break is what these players need to get rejuvenated, because sometimes, going back to your national team, the culture is there, the vibe is there. There's no critics from the fans, because those are your country fans, and if it's not a major tournament, everybody's just happy to see you wear the jersey and get out there and kick the ball. So obviously we do have the FA Cup coming up this weekend against Fulham. I think that's going to be definitely going to be a better game than what we watched today. Definitely, it's a must-win game for both teams. So I definitely see Fulham going at it, and I definitely see us going at it as well, which is good to see, because Fulham is a good team. Fulham is a good team. They've done a really great job. They have the ex-United player in Pereira. They have some pretty good players overall that I think is definitely going to be a good game. Definitely looking forward to watching that as well. Honestly, nothing stood out. David De Gea, I would say he saved us a few times. And if I was going to give a man of the match, I would definitely give it to David De Gea. But we know the majority of fans are going to give the man of the match to Marcus Rashford, just because of that one goal he scored. But if I was being honest and being critical, um, I would give it to David De Gea. I think he made a few saves in the game today that that could have changed it. Whether it was the one goal that we conceded, that could have changed the entire game. So I would give the man of the match to David De Gea, even though, like I said, most fans will give it to Marcus Rashford. Other than that, honestly, no one really stood out today. Casemiro had a clean game. I was kind of nervous that he was going to get a yellow card or a red card or something stupid, but luckily he saw the game out. Unfortunately, he's not going to be there for the FA Cup game on the weekend. But it is what it is. I think Fulham, we have a decent team. Positive is that Sabitzer is back. I think he had an injury, um, a minor injury, but I think Sabitzer will be there. So at least it's a good replacement. It's a decent replacement for Casemiro. So, like I said, I haven't seen too much of Sabitzer to uh, blow his horn too much, but from the little bit I've seen, and also coming from Munich, you've got to be a decent player to be signed by Bayern Munich. So, but one, you guys leave your comments as to what you thought about the Casemiro red card. Was it well deserved? Should Manchester United have um, appealed the red card, or do you feel like Manchester United should have done more to appeal the red card? And also, looking at the team so far, I was talking about how we definitely need the two main role positions that we do need come summer. Transfer window is definitely a creative midfielder, not just a midfielder. I think we already have Sabitzer. Hopefully, I don't know if that's going to be a permanent deal. My problem with Sabitzer right now is I haven't seen enough from him. He hasn't started too many games, and then he's been injured. I know he's back on the bench now, but I need to see more from Sabitzer before I can endorse us keeping him for the before I can endorse extending his contract. Um, Ericsson, obviously, he's been out for a long injury. He's been out for some time now. I don't know when Ericsson is going to come back. That's a good question. But I still believe that even though we have Ericsson, I still believe that we need a creative midfielder. Like I had explained, the likes of Ericsson, Bruno Fernandez. These I think they're very predictable in their game, and with the amount of games that we have, um, we're going to be in more competitive tournaments next season. We definitely need somebody who can dictate games, that can control games, and that can change a game in a moment. We need those kind of midfielders. Like I said, Casemiro is doing a great job, but we can't expect Casemiro to. I just don't want what happened to Pogba to end up happening to Casemiro, where we're expecting him to do a lot more. He's a defensive midfielder who is good on the ball, but I don't think that's his main strength. I don't think that we should rely on him for areas in the game that he might not be the strongest at. So that's just my take on it. And that's why I still believe that we do need um, a creative attacking midfielder. That's something that we're lacking in our team, and we're just lacking that midfielder that just can find a pass from nowhere. Can find a pass from nothing, can create chances from nothing. Right now, we have too many. Like I was saying with Bruno Fernandez, he's very counter-attacking, and but a lot of the games, usually you're going to play counter-attacking. 40% of your games will be counter-attacking, but that 60%, we need, people that can actually break down low blocks. So, but anyways, it's definitely been fun. We're on to the next round. Tomorrow, Friday, March the 17th, is going to be the official announcements for the next group for round of 16, both in the Champions League and the Europa League as well. So looking forward to that. Hopefully we don't get a Juve. Hopefully we don't get a Roma. That's a goal. Rashford got his goal, so hopefully we can keep that confidence going. But anyways, it's definitely been fun. Till next time, please continue to like, share, subscribe. It means a lot to us.